Hi, today I would like to introduce two types of model drawing. One is the part whole model. And another one is called the comparison model. Okay, so to begin with, for part whole model, there are two types of possible questions. One, you are given the whole. So for example, there are 100 children in the hall. 40 of them are girls and the rest are boys. How many boys are there in the hall? So the question mark is to find the other part, which is the boys, right? And we have to do 100 minus 40. So we are given the whole and we are given one part to find the other part. So this is one kind of part whole model. Another part whole model would be we are given the two parts. So for example, there are 45 girls in the hall. Okay, you can also put the 45 on the outside and the word girls inside the model. And there are 60 boys in the hall. Then how many children are there in the hall? So the question mark is to find the whole bar, and therefore you are given one part and the other part, and you are supposed to find the whole. So these two are both part whole model. Okay, you can be given the whole to find the part, or you could be given two parts to find the whole. And as they progress, they might be given three parts or even more. Right, so this is the part whole model. Next, I'm going to move on to comparison model. A comparison model, there are more versions of the different types of comparison model. So to begin with, the most common comparison model, as the name suggests, is to compare. So you might be given two items, two subjects, right? So A, for example, class A collected 400 bookmarks. Class B collected 600 bookmarks. So one type of comparison is how many more bookmarks did class B collect compared to class A, and therefore the question mark is to find the difference between the number of bookmarks class A and B collected. Sometimes I term it as the gap. I tell the pupils that the gap between A and B, the gap here, right, which is the difference. So here, very clearly, they need to subtract 600 minus 400. Okay, this is the most direct type of comparison model. Another type of comparison model, again, they may be given class A collected 400 bookmarks. Class B collected 200 more bookmarks than class A. So, listen carefully again to the question or the story or the problem sum. They say class B collected 200 more bookmarks than class A. 200 more bookmarks than class A. And then the question mark is to find how many bookmarks did class B collect. Alright, clearly class B here collected more. As you can see from the model, the bar is longer than A. Hence, again, this solution, the pupils are required to find the subject or the item that is more, and therefore it's again 400 plus 200. So it's an addition. Okay, so class B collected 600. Okay, that's straightforward enough. However, there could be another scenario. Let's look at this scenario. Again, they are given A collected 400 bookmarks. So I have A collected 400 bookmarks. And then the problem says class A collected 200 fewer bookmarks than class B. So this is the part. It's class A collected 200 fewer bookmarks than class B. So class A collected fewer than class B. Hence, this model, with the word fewer, it doesn't mean that they have to subtract. In fact, class B collected more than class A, and therefore class B model should be longer. And the fewer, it's over here, similar to the previous model over here. However, the word is fewer. Okay, class A collected 200 bookmarks fewer than class B. And therefore, class B's model is longer. And again, how many bookmarks did class B collect? So many a times, pupils tend to see the word fewer and they do a 400 minus 200 without drawing out the model properly. But if you draw out the model, you'll notice that this question requires you to add 400 to 200 to get class B 600, which is the same as what I've done here previously, right? Then of course, there's another scenario where you are given class A collected 400 bookmarks. And class A collected 200 bookmarks more than class B. So I repeat, class A collected 400 bookmarks. They collected 200 more bookmarks than class B. So now they have got 200 more than class B, which means class B has fewer. And again, the difference or the gap is 200, and class A collected 200 more than class B. Find the number of bookmarks class B collected. Again, let me put in the question mark. And so now, even though it's the word more, you notice that class B has got fewer. So we have to do a 400 minus 200 equals to 200. So this is another scenario for comparison model. So please take note. Train your child to read the question carefully and to put in the question mark and to read again to understand which item has more and which item has fewer. Thank you for listening.